Always fun when it's someone else's job. There we go.
This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Kobe Valve, and Four Patriots.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 428, Gun Talk with the AR-15 podcast. Already fumbling it up.
Yeah. Tonight, Aaron changes his mind. Coy is on the Slick Rock, and Ben gets a job.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron. My name's Ben, and tonight we are joined by the hosts of the AR-15 podcast, Nick and Garth. And welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
Hey,
guys.
thanks.
Yeah. Glad you guys made it.
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit later there
guys.
for you. And
No, later works.
okay. Like farmers, I thought went to bed when the sun goes down, and then they get up when the sun goes up. I thought that's how that worked.
Yeah, you should really meet me. I'm not that guy.
See, I just feel tremendously like underdressed here because I'm the only one without a beard.
It looks like you're starting on something there. You didn't
No.
shave,
Bring the stash back.
this morning.
Yeah, I didn't shave this weekend, so it'll
It's
be
the 4 stages of beard growth.
Yes.
You need to bring the farva back, bud.
Yeah, it might come back. It's when I grow my mustache out because unfortunately that's all I can keep for longer than a month. I can
Yes,
win
that's all you're
a-
allowed. Yeah.
I can win a look like Rod Farva competition.
Oh yeah,
Like the easiest thing in the world.
you should work on that. Halloween's coming up.
I have a liter of cola.
Do we have liter of cola?
Well, Ben, you got a job.
Yep,
What
I'm
does
not
that
allowed
mean?
to. Means I'm not allowed to sit around at home all day. Only during the middle of the day. I'm working on getting my CDL Class B, and being a school bus driver for my kids' school district. So I keep their schedule, and when they're on vacation, I'm on vacation. It works out for the family, and it pays pretty decent. And the nice thing is like I do the morning bus route, and then I'll have like the afternoon off unless I sign up. I'm a substitute bus driver after I get all my training done. So like morning bus, then afternoon off until the kids are getting out of school, and then I do those routes unless I sign up for other activities like field trips or sports. And the cool thing with sports I found out is you get paid for the entire time. So like say they're playing an hour away, pick them up. I've got pre-inspection and all that. Drive all the way to the bus to the game. Get paid while they're playing, and then drive back. So,
You can say you're a professional driver.
yeah, I'm working on it. I'm in training right now, and I've had like 2 days of class because unfortunately there's another guy doing class right now. Who's farther than I am, and he's on the driving portion, and there's only one instructor. So I'm getting like 2 hours here and there. But once I'm on the driving portion, he'll probably be done. So I'm just working on studying, getting my permit and doing the classroom instruction stuff, which is all like the signs of child predators and, how you can help protect children. And I'm like,
You're like, hold on, we're doing an episode about that tonight on the podcast.
yeah.
Well,
I'm like, hey,
please
I'll
brush
chat
up on
with
your Billy Madison.
Actually, so for unfortunately this year for Halloween, well, unfortunately for them, we'll be at SEMA, but like my goal is for like Halloween dress up attire. I'm like, all right, what are some of the fun bus drivers? And I'm like, okay, Otto from The Simpsons,
Yeah.
Chris Farley. There's just so many of them. It'd just be like, what was the one from who did the bus driver with the Grown Ups movie? Can't think of his name.
Oh, the guy from Reno 911.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie, but
Oh,
anybody
gosh,
from
that's
Reno
gonna bother me.
911
I gotta
would
look
be
it up.
You know, growing up, I had like one of the most terrifying women I've ever met in my life as a bus driver.
Nick Swartzen.
And like it was like it was, you know, I'm old. It was a weird time. It was called the 80s. Like people you could still, the driver still smoked while she was driving all the kids around. And
It was
Wow,
legal then too.
it was a manual transmission bus and with a 2-speed rear end. And she only ever like took it in the ditch once, and that's because she was stopped and it was in the middle of a blizzard and the wind literally blew the bus on its side. And
It sounds
one of
like
the
South Dakota.
one of the dads was dropping the kids off with the tractor and just hooked a log chain onto it and pulled it back onto its wheels. And
Yes.
she turned around, dropped everyone off back at their house, and used called in on the radio and just said, "We're canceling school today."
She canceled school. The bus driver. That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yep, old Mrs. Peck.
Yeah, I've had some pretty interesting bus drivers in the past, and it's funny because all these kids know me because I've coached sports for the elementary school, and then I've helped out with like my kids who are in the plays and all that. So I know a big grip of these kids, and I'm very noticeable when I walk down the hallways, being 6'4" with a beard and all that. So like it's like, all right, they're either going to be afraid of me or they're going to be like, "Hey Ben, it's you. You're here. Oh no!" So we'll see. What about you, Aaron?
Well, we've got that eclipse thing happening over here on the West Coast this coming Saturday, and I'm going to be down in Florence where the dunes are, but I'm not going to end up taking the Nissan down there. There won't be time to go wheel. There won't be time to go wheeling on the dunes. It's a family trip, and not everybody in the family wants to go in the sand dunes. So I am going to look into.
Well, tell Thomas to suck it up.
I'm going to look into. They've got those giant, oversized dune buggies where it has like 4 rows of bench seats that they cram all the tourists into. I'm going to look into that, see what that costs, and maybe I'll take the kids out on that. So no Nissan to the dunes. And I've been doing some preparedness stuff. I like to say that word all the way out rather than just the short version of it, because it's a little less tinfoil hat so I bought 6 of those blue food barrels that are whatever, they're plastic blue barrels, and I bought all the parts so I can set up some water storage. I had some water storage, it wasn't working out, so this is going to fix all my problems. So working on my water storage. Josh asked how many family members I have. In my immediate family, I have a wife and 2 children. So, and a dog. So all 5 of us, dog included, would have to go out on the dunes. Yes, Josh, my Frontier has plenty of seat space for the whole family, but it just isn't in the cards. So but that's about it. I worked on my shop some more over the weekend. In addition to that, feel like I'm really getting it dialed in. Trying to get some insulation purchased for it and some plywood for the walls once I insulate it. So I'm super excited about that. Garth, have you done anything off-road related in the last couple of weeks?
No, man, I'm not an off-road guy. I've been to the Black Hills, South Dakota for the last. Well, oh yeah, go ahead. Bring it on.
Jeep. It says Jeep Girl right there underneath your name.
Yeah, Jeep girl. Do you see any Jeep girls going out in the hills and doing stupid stuff and getting stuck and, oh, I need a man to save me? That's not me. I can't. Sorry. My bad. Family friendly. My bad. No, that's not me. So I go to the Black Hills all the time. I go for things like Deadwood, which is like a mini Vegas for us,
Okay.
and it's only 3 hours away. So that's what I do. The whole Jeep persona that I've taken a motorcycle, because I don't know if we've talked since I had my whole little deal with the motorcycle, but yeah, if you follow the show, you know I have bad luck with 2 wheels. So, like, immensely bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, tell that story,
So.
Garth.
All right, I will tell the story really quick. In the summarized version, we were Nick's basement one night after the show. I got on my Harley and took off for home, which I live 30 miles from Nick. And an antelope decided to pop out on the road when I was going 65 mile an hour, and I cut it in half. Yeah, it was awesome. And so then I fixed up my bike, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell it. And they were like, no, you got to ride. You got to ride. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I hit a deer going 80.
Man, you sound like you've got the same luck I've got whenever I get on my scooter.
Yeah. Well, you should talk to Nick about scooters. Those are good times.
Yeah, well, he's probably talked about a different scooter. I got wiped out by one of those electric lime, whatever. Like,
oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
he got tackled.
Yeah.
By what?
I was. So I am also a large human. 6'4" and north of 280 pounds. And
an ogre.
We were.
Whoa! I take offense to that.
Yeah,
I call you an ogre. I call you an ogre all the time, Ben.
I know.
Ben, you might be a big dude, but I'm not gonna lie. I think Nick and I are bigger. So,
but anyways, I went on a hog hunt down in Texas, and on the way back, because I flew down and the other guys drove down, so they decided to keep going where and on the drive back. So in my defense, I was left unsupervised, and I was in Austin and went down and hit up 6th Street where all the bars and the bands and everything like that. And then when I was walking back to the hotel at like 10:30 in the evening, like legitimately 10:30ish, a drunk guy on one of those scooters came up and smoked me from behind.
the electric one, so we never heard it coming.
I couldn't hear it coming. And he was going down the sidewalk at like 15 miles an hour, and I didn't have my hearing aids in, and I was just in a bar with live music. So I'm like, wham!
He just laid you out.
Oh yeah, and like the scooter wound up wrapped around him in a dumpster, because he ended up worse than I did in the wreck. But like, lucky for me, my face stopped my fall on the concrete. So I had this like awesome shiner and fat lip like going on. It was terrible. And I walked into the airport the next morning, and the cops were like, "What happened to you?" And I started telling the story. And they laughed and said, "Yeah, we're trying to get those things banned." Because apparently they had someone get smoked by a semi on one, because they're like, "Oh, this is motorized. I can just
take
this
it on the freeway."
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my goodness.
So scooters and me don't get along.
Gotcha.
Yeah, mine was a gas-powered like moped scooter, and I broke my tailbone on it being stupid.
You're coccyx.
Yep.
Yes.
What kind? I want to buy a scooter so bad again, just because I want something for around town.
One of the Chinese ones. Well, I'm sorry, it's Taiwanese.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, we've got a video on our YouTube channel of me riding it through Tahuya. Well, trying to. Kept sucking water into
park up here in the.
Yeah.
See, and that's gonna be my next purchase. Is I want to get like a XR650L or a KLR 650.
Yes.
Just do something stupid with it, because
Uh-huh.
I can. Oh, I already do stupid things with four wheels. I've always had a motorcycle, and then I made a bad decision and traded a Harley for a Jeep.
He did.
And then I had the Jeep for like 3.5 months, and I drove it, and the hit a patch of washboards on gravel, and the rear spring shackles decided to disconnect from where the frame was supposed to be because it had the TJ frame rot.
Okay.
And I said,
and rust belt, I assume, as well, helping that out a little bit.
So it's from
yeah.
South, I bought it or traded for it in South Dakota, and it originally came from Illinois.
It's probably even worse down there.
Yeah. So I went, well, I could pay for the parts and fix this, or I could pay, or I could just sell it. So I found some fool to give me, a couple $1,000s for it. And I went, there you go, bud.
Enjoy.
Yeah, he sold it to a buddy who's on the fire department with me. So
Yeah.
I should really talk to him someday and be like, hey, man, how'd that Jeep ever turn out?
I did full disclosure. I told him what was wrong with it.
Oh, he knew. He knew.
Yeah. Well, Nick, have you done anything off-road related in the past couple of weeks before we move on?
Oh, I put a new bed rack system on my half-ton pickup because it doesn't pull gooseneck trailers.
That's these pictures here then. So for our live audience, they can see.
And that has a dual purpose because it does make an excellent rest for high angle shooting.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
And that we were engaging targets out to 1,250 meters at a class, and using that rack to do that. So that, and then I found a series.
Does that truck have a sliding rear window?
Yes, it does.
Did anybody give him a little tickle while he was shooting?
No, they did not.
Okay.
Oh, and Mark over there, and does moving cows work? Well, we did put about 40 miles of most people would call it crawling on our Roxor. That is a Seekins.
Yes.
So it is in it's technically an MDDT or knockoff, but it's a full Seekins rifle.
Wait, is that new Seekins rifle?
Yes, it is.
Oh, so I was reading about that last night in Guns and Ammo, and I'm like, it's probably like an 8-page spread on it, and everything I'm reading, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. Wow, they did that too. Oh man. And it's only like was it 4.8 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, it's stupid light.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta know. So I like turned to the very back, and it's $5,200. I'm like, well, it's gonna be a little bit before I buy that one.
Yeah, my friend with the wildest Toyota 4Runner I've ever seen, Pastor Craig. He's got the full, he's got solar kits and dual batteries and the Dometic fridge and the ARB awnings.
Snorkels for all the things we don't need out here.
Snorkels for dust, man.
Yeah, snorkels for dust. Are you new?
Yeah, I am, dude. I was a Harley guy.
6.5 Creedmoor.
Awesome.
But no, so yeah, he's got a wild setup 4Runner. Like ours is pretty much bone stock for our 4Runner, but I did, however, find a screaming deal from some former van life people, and got a pair of MTX 400 Midland GMRS radios.
Okay.
I got the pair of them for $200.
I don't know what they cost. I've never looked into GMRS.
$450 radio.
Whoa. All right.
Yeah, they're the 40 watt GMRS radio. So
okay. And as far as I know, like people build repeaters and all kinds of stuff. So I could see that being real helpful on the farmland.
Yeah,
Ranch land.
No,
we
farm's
actually
okay.
we had a guy who came on our show a while ago just to talk about like radio communications and stuff like that. And he makes a product called the Lunchbox Repeater. It's like a little Pelican case with two antennas that come out of it, and you can just set it up on a high point, and it'll act as a repeater for you. Like if you were all going to wheel in the same area and had a mountain in the middle of it, as long as it was within 6-7 miles of it, you'd be able to put that at the highest point, and everybody'd be able to reach it due to line of sight.
For us, that's just a water tower. There's no mountains out here.
I was going to say, yeah, it's pretty flat out there. Yeah, so that's MojaveRepeater.com guy that you guys had on.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a great episode.
Yeah, it's like we do our show, and I like to learn stuff, so I go down weird rabbit holes and drag Garth with me.
Absolutely.
I've learned some useless things in my life.
One
things
day
I just can't get out of my brain now. Oh well.
And then like I said, we were out driving through the cuts and ravines with our Roxor, which those things are underrated, I think.
I absolutely agree.
So
This Week in Review is brought to you by 4 Patriots. Have you ever been concerned with the shelf life of the food you take camping? Since you're a listener of the podcast, we know you at least keep some emergency food stashed in your rig. 4 Patriots sells a variety of survival food and equipment that pair great with the off-road and adventure lifestyle. Use code FRN and get 10% off your first order.
Also, make sure that you write into us with something you'd like to see on your off-road Christmas list, and we'll be reading the entries on our Christmas gift exchange episode coming up on November 20th. We're going to read them live on air. We're going to pick out some random ones, and we've got stuff to give away, as we've mentioned. We've got stuff from Patriot Patch, Colby Valve, Warren, and also 4 Patriots. So looking forward to that.
Yep, everyone's in on it.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road product store.
We said tractor in that advertisement there, Garth.
I saw that. No, I actually wrote down the link there because I was like, no, that actually seems very feasible for the farm. So
yeah,
It's so feasible that Aaron's actually used his, I think, right? Aaron?
I had a valve stem go bad in the original tractor we had out here on the farm, and I was like, yes, I get to try my Colby valve, and I brought it out and tried to use it, and it was too small, and I'm like, it doesn't fit. I didn't know tractors had bigger valve stems than cars. And then it was like a few months later they came out with the XL version, which is made for tractors. So I have one on the farm now. I gave one to my neighbor who's a farmer. I've passed them out to farm friends around here. So yeah.
No, I'm
So if
definitely
you
gonna
ever,
look into those.
yep, if you ever tear a valve stem, it's a simple replace. You don't have to take the wheel off and go somewhere and blah blah blah. So yep.
Oh,
And hopefully
Well,
all the stays in there.
Our first news story is from Car Buzz, and it is that Ford patents bolt-on third axles. So this is going to be a great one for you guys to listen in on, because you farmer rancher guys, you guys probably always have a big old payload hauling
So-
stuff around.
So they're making bolt-on tandems.
Yes. So Ford is developing a bolt-on third axle to turn any pickup truck or SUV into a 6x6. So CarBuzz discovered the patent filed with the Patent and Trademark Office, and it describes how much more cost-effective it is to just have this bolt-on system for a higher capacity than it would be to develop and produce a whole new tandem axle type of a system. Recently, the maximum payload for the F-150 has gone down by 860 pounds because very few people even bother ordering the max payload. Mark says tandem dualies. They don't say, but I sure hope so. The pictures that they have in the article are just from other people who've done custom 6x6 stuff, but there are a couple patent drawings that which show a little bit of information. So the article mentions that it would be especially useful on chassis cabs. So that would be like a U-Haul style truck or a motorhome or an ambulance or things like that. Something where you don't have a bed. So you don't have any body work to worry about. And it says that it'll be real cost efficient for a dealer to just install it, and it could even be installed by customers. They claim that it should be as easy to assemble as Legos in its simplest configuration. So I find that super cool. They don't make any mention of what you would have to do if you did have an actual pickup bed on there. I don't know if you can if they maybe will still sell bedsides that are longer bedsides, or if they just say not meant for use with trucks that have beds, or get out of Sawzall. I'm not sure.
They probably, because I think some of the way beds are now is the sides are actually replaceable themselves, just the sides, with some fabrication like welding, like redoing tack welds and stuff. So I would assume that it's a little easier than like an older one where the bed's like one single giant piece of metal that you're cutting up.
Well, it would.
Um,
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
in looking when I look at the drawings for it, it appears to be where they changed the schematic to a torsion bar style setup for the suspension on the rear. Like, think a tandem trailer axle. And as that goes through, you would have to extend the wheel well inside the bed as well, unless you had like a
Correct.
ram with ram boxes. Then you might be able to get away with that because that wall would already be the whole length, just because of the, like with that torsion bar, the way it appears to hook onto the front of the frame where it goes down on the gooseneck. But
yeah, it'll be interesting to see it though as an option, or they're just patenting it so no one else can, and no one else is going to be able to sell a kit.
So Josh keeps asking a bunch of questions about what we really want to know, and he's saying he's going to put stress on the differential. There must be a second pinion out the front ring gear. All of the patent drawings show it as a tag axle that is not powered. It's just a tube. So all it is for adding more capacity, more weight, not more traction necessarily. So yeah, and I agree with you, Raggle Fraggle. Get rid of the factory bed, go flatbed.
and also, how did Mark know my old Xbox ID when he was talking about the tandem dualies?
Tandem dualies. Is that back when you played
The original
GoldenEye?
Halo?
Golden
Yeah,
Eye and you're running around
Goldeneye.
with two guns.
Oh yeah,
Tandem
guns
dualies.
akimbo.
Well, from Carbuzz, yet again, we've got the 2023 Jeep Gladiator can be purchased for a steal, and with the upgrades coming out for the 2024, some subtle styling updates, new technology, enhanced safety features, some big ticket changes for those with some rugged-minded appeals. It means dealers are getting desperate to get rid of their existing inventory, and they've already had problems selling the 2023 Gladiators. I've heard sales were already down for the year. So originally priced out at $52,000 for a Sport, which is like your base model. Deal There's a dealer with out of California with a discount of $12,000, which is already a 23% reduction in price, and apparently there's an additional 10% off of MSRP retail of $5,000. So it's going to bring it down to like 35,000 for a Jeep Gladiator on a base
Gladiator
model.
Sport.
and there's reportedly 18,023 Gladiators in dealer stock right now, and they're talking about they're launching another discount of 15% instead of the 10%, and it's just not sport models. They've got your Rubicons and your what is the Mojave.
The Mojave,
Um,
yeah.
So if you don't care about those extra revisions, now's a good time to go out and get those. You'll have to fork over full price, it sounds like, for the newer models though, because they've got new revised radiator grille, 12.3 infotainment center. Because being able to stare at your stereo while you're driving is very important. With Uconnect 5, got to pay for all those extra things like Sirius and all that fun stuff. Some enhanced safety airbags, because those are important when you're rolling over your Jeep.
Man,
And second row, first and second row curtain airbags, as well as second row outboard seat belts with load limiters and pretensioners.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Aside from the new trim levels, Rubicon X and Mojave X, Jeep's also introducing upfitted off-road packages from AV, but they haven't released pricing for the new Gladiator.
Yes, sir, in the bottom corner with your hand raised.
how do you do curtain airbags out of a tube roll cage?
I'm guessing they use some of like the plastic trim that's surrounding the roll bars.
I'm just thinking about taking it off to go topless,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can do that, and then I'm like, is the bear, is the guy, and trying to figure out
What you see is they just release one giant when you go topless, so it just keeps you in anyway.
are you gonna split part of that? Like, is there a little explosive charge like dummy bolts on aircraft?
I'm guessing that there must be some sort of plastic that stays with it with the top
Yeah,
off.
I think that they've probably done something along the lines of some sorry, raining hard. Some like plastic trim that surrounds the roll bar, that will allow for the airbags to sit under there. Considering I think they're the modules that hold them are only like an inch or two square.
Oh, it's in that stereo bar.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
Passenger divider.
It's in the headrest in front of you. It just comes right into you.
See, I just had questions.
Mark
Yeah,
says
but,
it's a
I
fully
mean-
automatic direct impingement side curtain airbag system.
But I mean, considering the
Not
prices,
piston
I mean,
operated.
if you don't care about those extra new features, like most of us probably don't, 35,000 for a brand new
That's
Gladiator.
That's so cheap.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
probably spend the extra 5,000 or 6,000 for a model with lockers, but what's all that matter?
But it's probably something with that new. Well, I guess that's on the Jeep itself. The Sky 1 Jeep top, the one push top that actually just comes back all the way. It's like an automatic top.
Yeah.
They're coming out for 23 or 24. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I saw some soccer mom driving around with one of those in Sioux Falls today.
Yeah, and
Nothing. I mean, like her Starbucks was flowing, and she looked like she was just living her best life.
we all do.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
All right, so we've
you're not
got
much of a
the
winch.
oh,
I'm not a Jeep guy. I don't even have a winch, man.
we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Although you said everything's flat there, you probably won't need one.
Not really,
Nope.
no.
No, but he does have traction boards.
I
There you
do.
go. Super
Yeah.
cute.
I bought them after I got stuck this last winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. So this week we've got the 2 of the 3 hosts from the AR-15 podcast on. The other one wasn't available via satellite where he's at right now. So got 2 of them anyways. And we're going to talk about firearms, gun talk here. So we're going to talk about anything. It's not just AR-15s, although I don't plan to talk about any of them commie rifles that you guys don't like. So, but we'll talk about just about anything else. We know you guys like more than just AR-15s. So, yeah, Raggle Fraggle's excited too for this part. So yeah, let's just jump right in the main topic here. So let's what types of firearms do people bring when they go wheeling and camping? Yes, you can say all of the above, but we figured maybe we could just list a few of them out with a few of the types.
I probably have one of the weirdest ones that we carry with almost all the time.
Is
like
the AR-7?
No, a dart gun.
Okay.
So this is like, as for ranching purposes, it's a work thing. So we have a pneumatic dart gun for delivering medicine into cattle.
Gotcha. I wasn't going to kink shame you, but I guess if it's for the animals.
Yeah. So, it's a rifle that just shoots, you load up the syringe and get about 20 yards away. And, okay. So like we have our side-by-sides have the Big Sky racks in the ceiling. And there's an AR on one side and a dart gun in the other. And they are not silent. They make quite a noise when that sprong goes.
Yeah, Mark, I think you're thinking of something else if it's silent but deadly.
And that one, as I say, that's just like the weird thing that I carry in my off-road vehicle all the time. But
yeah, so
for
there's
real firearms.
Yeah. So for real firearms, you can bring pistols, which would include like semi-autos or revolvers. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that's a super nice one. There you go, Ben. Your green screen made it disappear. In fact, it literally fell in the lake behind you as you held it.
Well, I do live in Washington, and unfortunately, all my firearms seem to be disappearing. So
there you go.
There we go.
So pistols. And
I mean, it is camouflage. That's probably why it disappeared.
It probably was. Pistols, semi-autos, and revolvers. I can hold some up here too.
Yeah.
Rifles.
Gun.
Or
bring some rifles.
Rifle caliber pistols.
Well,
Rifle.
I don't know what your guys' like state laws are and stuff, but out here, I have a pistol that is designated for each of my vehicles. It never leaves. It's always in there. I have a Glock 17, a Glock 45 in my Jeep. Those are there to stay. I
Yeah.
just make sure I have something, but then I always do carry, an AR or an SBR or something like that. Not SBR, pistol, I should say, because I'm not that cool to have an SBR. So,
Well, you can get that cool.
but no, I could get that cool, but it costs money.
Yeah.
Or don't forget your Keltec.
Oh, you mean this bad boy here?
So
You
one
got
thing you
yourself a
might
sub
not know.
2000?
Oh, not only does he have a sub 2000, he had it Cerakoted to match the color of his Jeep.
Yes, I did. So you flip that, you're ready to rock and roll, baby.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh, that's hideous.
Is the tip orange?
Yeah, I had my buddy paint it, and he's like, we were sitting in his living room, and his son came in. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a threaded tip." And he goes, "Hey, that looks like a Nerf gun." And me and Cody looked at each other and went, "Oh man, maybe we should have done that."
Yeah.
I might know where you can get a black one.
Another
No,
cap.
it stays
Yeah.
now. No, it's staying.
Yeah.
It's there. It's done.
So, rifles, short rifles.
So this one right here is literally my standard for my half-ton pickup, and it's a little 10.5 inch, with a light and a 2.5 power prism.
Mhm.
I can successfully run this out to 300 with no issues, and that is kind of my go-to. I have, everything pretty much ends up with an AR in it at some point for me. And like my diesel pickup, because it's my big pickup, has a 20-inch AR in it.
Oh yeah.
And
You got more room for activities.
yeah, precisely.
Exactly.
So besides
Ooh.
rifles, you might bring a shotgun camping with you.
Especially if you like have a cannon so that you can shoot those cans out of the air.
Yeah. So
Oh, I
is
see.
one
Someone's launching the cans, someone's shooting the cans with
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like a 2-for-1.
Yes.
So this is where there's one shotgun that I keep. I'm going to end up purchasing it, not because
He hasn't done it yet.
I've talked about it for probably 6 months.
He
And-
sends me it every week. Should I buy it? Yes, buy it. It drives me nuts. Just buy the dang thing so I stop hearing about it.
So what is it?
the Keltec KS7.
Okay.
So the KS7 is the single magazine tube version of the KSG.
Oh.
And when you pick it up and like maneuver it, it's incredibly maneuverable, and it is actually shorter than a Moss, like the Shockwaves, just the bird's head grip, and they exactly. That's what the lathe is for. We just spin up artillery pieces. But
Nice.
it's that KS7, because it does fit down smaller than like that Shockwave, the bird's head grip firearm that's not a pistol or a shotgun. It's that in between thing.
Yes.
And they're actually, yeah, there you go. They're a little bit shorter with an 18-inch barrel.
That's an 18-inch barrel?
Yes. So that's
Yes.
not a short gun
Wow, I had
shotgun.
no idea.
So they're like 25 inches or 24 or 25 inches, and then they have an 18-inch barrel and a 7-round magazine.
Okay.
And there's a Turkish knockoff of it that's $200, but
Oh, the
That's-
rifle is good, yeah.
yeah, and that's one of those things where that is 7 rounds of 12 gauge, which is a whole lot of leave me alone to anything on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, and don't they make specialty ammo for those that are like shorter, like 2.5-inch shells or something like that?
Well, so the 2 3/4 is what that holds 7 of. They
Oh,
do make
one and
yeah.
3/4 is what
yeah,
Ben's talking about.
the minis.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that'll hold like 10 or 15 minis.
which I've never ran a mini out of one of those yet. I'm not sure how they would perform, but I would like to see because they're very fun. I've actually bought a shotgun, a coach gun, just because of that ammunition a couple years ago. It's just something I had to have, and I was like, well, I don't know what's going to shoot out of this thing, so those mini shells, those would be fantastic.
Hey, right there. he's
Yeah,
got
those
it in
things.
his hand.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you go.
1
Yes.
3/4 buckshot or 7.5-inch or 7.5 shot. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Jim has the answer to it. It'll hold 13 minis.
13
Wow.
mini.
KS7. And that's a factory gun.
That just sounds like fun.
It's a cool gun. I mean, Kel-Tec's got the whole market though. I mean, bullpups are just fun in general. This is actually one of my go-tos to throw in the Jeep, just because I don't have the cargo space for a full rifle. I mean, I do, but this one, fantastic suppressed Kel-Tec bullpup, so good. Oh, jeez.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
That is one of the major cases for a bullpup, is when you need to have like that compact. If you're worried about storage and space, they'll. Yeah. So they do make a KS7 or a KSG that holds 25 rounds in total. It has a 30-inch barrel and 2 30-inch magazines.
Yeah, the
That's
original,
his pheasant gun.
or not the original, but the long barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my pheasant gun only holds 9 because my Nova is my short mag, and that has a sling on it for when I run a dog. Other than that, my other shotgun is 14 plus 1.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to have all the weight.
Uh-oh, Jim says he had 2 malfunctions with the minis in his KSG when he ran it yesterday. So
Yeah,
I know
I'm wondering
some-
how those would really feed.
some guns don't like them. I only have put them through one of my shotguns, and it was the cheapest one you can get at Big 5, little pistol grip thing. I don't even remember what it was. But it ran them just fine.
So the one other gun I have, actually I don't even have it down here because it's in a place special because it has my IR lasers and stuff like that on it. So it sits beside my bed, and that and night vision is super fun if you're out camping or get out at night.
Regal Fraggle says it's all in the feed ramps when it comes to pump shotguns, and Jim says that he has an older one. The newer ones are better. So it seems like Kel-Tec updates their stuff often. So, hey, Ben, why don't you talk about things that we can do with these firearms?
Well, there's the classic soda can, plink can, drink your sodas or take some full ones that you don't like and waste them and just shoot them with like some 22 BB guns, rifles, everything and anything. Let's see, bring in some target stands and shooting some steel or paper. I've got a collapsible stand that I have, and I love taking that out. And all you need is a 2x4 with it. It collapses down pretty small. It's a little heavy, but I mean, it's AR-15 steel that you're shooting at, so it's not supposed to be light. But nothing's better than that ping, ping every time you hit it. And paper is always fun to shoot, just to put holes in paper, get unique targets, Frankenstein, terrorists, whatever it may be. Clay pigeons. I mean, that's a cheap box of fun right there.
Yeah.
You can what a box of clays last I bought was like $20. I'm sure they're probably like 30 now with inflation, because inflation. But I mean, those little orange clay pigeons with shotguns, throwing them in the air or even throwing them down range, not throwing, but setting them up down range and shooting them.
Definitely
as bright
done
as they are. Yeah, we've done a lot of that. Long range shooting, you can do that with all of those things at a long range. Let's challenge up your skills and your buddies and see who's got a better shot with their rifle or the same rifle. Practice some self-protection, and I don't know. I've like I mentioned earlier, I've got a cannon, and I've yet to take it camping, but the plan is to shoot some soda cans into the air and see if we can get a few shotgun blasts on the can in the air. We'll see.
If you're
Go ahead.
If you're ever looking for a lightweight target stand and target option, Origin Tactical Solutions. They're not a sponsor by any means, but they're modular target bases. They have an ultralight one. It all screws onto a 2x4, and even their targets are rifle rated and only 1/4 inch. So they're a lot lighter.
Nice.
I use that. I have 4 of their stands for when I go teach classes and stuff like that, because they fold up just into a little suitcase kind of around the 2x4. And it's all included. And
okay,
the metal weighs less or about the same as the 2x4, except for the target.
Yeah, Jeremy has a rubber dummy that we've taken shooting with us. And it's fun because it's got like you can set up the die packs or even like the Jello packs behind it. So when it hits, it just kind of pink mists in the back. It's fun, but I mean,
I'd rather do stuff like that, like the dummies and the steel, just because of the options of shooting cans and shooting paper and stuff like that, and clay pigeons. You're leaving a mess you got to pick up, and that's what I hate the most after going out to the range and shooting. Is if I have just a steel target to shoot, that's a disassembly in 5 minutes tops. You can move that out from 25 yards to 50 to 100 yards. It's a lot more enjoyable, and like you said, every time you hit that steel, you get a reaction right away. It's a lot more enjoyable, just for me personally. Depending on where you guys go, I mean, if you're going on camp, I'm not a camper. My idea of camping is going to a hotel and making sure there's a nice bar nearby. That's my idea of camping. So I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to take stuff with me to go shooting. It's hard for like guys like Nick and I. Nick, he goes out and he'll do the camping stuff, and good because he's got a family. I'm a single dude. I'm not going to go out in the woods by myself. It's kind of, I'm not there yet. I don't have a tinfoil hat for that stuff. So, in that regard, I have my own range set up. So that's fun. Yeah, he's going to put his hat on. Don't worry. We're about to go full on nerd. Here it comes.
Here we go.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
he takes camping.
It's lined with tinfoil. I need to get one of those tinfoil hats.
He just puts on his helmet with his night vision and walks around the camp yard with that at night.
Yeah, why? You don't need flashlights.
Yeah,
Who needs a flashlight? You can rock around camp with that.
How else are you supposed to find the skinwalkers?
Raggle Fraggle says he's a hunter, so he hunts when he camps and he camps when he hunts. Absolutely.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah. Around here, it's not that much on my head. That's definitely that is the cheapest setup you can go to and get analog night vision. And like that, the actual night vision device on that retails for about $2,000.
Do you have your cowboy hat with you?
I could go get the cowboy hat, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about that.
All right, go get that, please.
While he's grabbing his cowboy hat, so some people don't have an opportunity. They don't live near a range that has a long range availability. So sometimes when you get out and you go camping, that's the only chance you get to stretch it out beyond 100 yards or something. So
Especially here on the west side of the Cascades in Washington, there's not much for long range options. So you've got to go to the east side, and generally, if you want to put it out far, you're better off just camping and finding a nice spot out in the desert ish area.
Yep. That's totally understandable. And that's the one thing I've never got to experience because, like you guys said, Nick and I want to go long range. We drive 15 miles and we're set up for long range. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Yep.
Howdy.
Now, this
Howdy,
one
Park.
has a little bit of modification I need to do to it yet to add some counterweight. But
Just a
you're
few
about
more
to use
cans
your
of
last haul.
You just need a few more cans of dip holding the back of that hat down.
You should put
I love
a
it.
beer holder in the back. That'll counterweight it.
There you
pretty well.
go. Yeah,
There
one
you
of those.
go. Yep.
And then the straws that come down.
Oh, yeah.
Just add a bottle of bourbon back there and call it good.
There you go.
Yep. Just screw a big old belt buckle and see you from the backside.
Why cheap it up and not use bourbon?
So I did some research about where you can go shooting while you're wheeling and camping and things like that. And obviously private land, if you have permission or know the owners and they say, yeah, you can shoot on private land. Depending on what jurisdiction, like you can't really shoot on private land in the city, but if you're out in the country, usually it's not a big problem to shoot on private land. Most BLM land you can shoot on.
Just remember that, closures.
Very few restrictions with that. And the national forest, where there aren't any restrictions, you can shoot. So basically, in national forest, you can shoot anywhere as long as there aren't restrictions on that. So they have to have restrictions because of campgrounds or roads or things like that. So pretty much anywhere in the national forest land you can shoot. And then a lot of state forest land as well. You can shoot in the state forest land as long as there aren't restrictions.
Yeah, just remember to make sure you have you're following some good safety protocol with that.
And I know that there is no tannerite or reactive targets allowed on federal land.
That's coming up, yeah. Mark says in national forest you can't shoot along or across streams. Same with roads. So yeah, so no crossing streams when you're in the national forest.
Yeah.
Don't
so
cross
just
the
some of those safety things you want to be looking out for is making sure you have a good proper backstop. You're not shooting near roads, on roads, trails or hiking areas. Make sure those are like behind you and not in front of you where you're shooting. We've got an area over here by me where the shooting is just off the road. It's an established shooting area. But you've got to still be aware of what you're doing, where your rifle's pointed, all those firearm is put. So, remember your universal safety rules there. And I like the optional fifth one is
There you go, right there.
There we go. Treat every firearm as if it were loaded. Never point a gun at anything you are not willing to destroy. You don't want to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Be sure of your target and what's behind it is a very key rule. And that's from Patriot Patch. They've got that nice metal sign, patch, and sticker all for that one right there. And there's a fifth one that I was taught in one of my classes I went to, which is never try and catch a fallen firearm, even if it's a SIG P320. Because more than likely there's a good chance that finger goes in that trigger and the gun's pointed every which direction it wants to be. You're better off being hopeful that it's not a SIG P320 or about ready to go off.
Hey, now my 320s, of which I own a couple.
I want to own one. I really do. I honestly do. But since that long ago story happened and they've since fixed that problem, it's still fun to say.
Well, I can say that the only thing SIG on this is the slide.
You know,
Okay.
it's funny. Like this
Mine's all SIG. The
this
optic, the slide, everything.
Glock, which was a Glock 17, which is not a Glock 17 anymore. It's a 19 or Glock 22. It's now a 17, but it's got none of the original features on it. Like even the springs have been replaced. Yeah. I guess this is the original slide, but I had it Cerakoted.
Yes.
Unless
So
you want to feel
maybe-
cheap and go to PSA and pick up one of these new daggers. These are fantastic guns.
Boy,
You know-
howdy. Yeah.
Those daggers are nice. I've got a dagger slide for 19. It's pretty nice.
I had I not bought the 320, or I should say if the daggers were out sooner, I probably would have been back in the Glock crowd with that. They're fantastic.
I can't shoot
Yeah.
Glocks at all.
That's a good point. I do struggle shooting the Glocks. They don't aim where I'm pointing.
Oh, that's not my issue. My issue is every time I shoot a stock Glock, specifically a Gen 3, I bleed.
Oh, big hands. That
Yeah.
slide catching you?
Yep. I have scars on the back side of my hand from the slide coming back and eating my hand.
But
Yeah,
tell 'em about the dagger.
Yep.
got
Which is
one.
why
Work
the
for you.
dagger has a beaver tail that doesn't do that.
Yes. Yeah.
So the only Glock I actually ever shoot is this one.
You keep it in a
And-
chassis.
Yeah, this is a Recover Tactical 2020, and I mean it folds out into a nice little package there. That's about.
Did you put two
Quick
hands
simple
on it?
Backpack.
You
gun.
hold it to the back and at the front?
Oh no, it's I strap it. I strap it to my arm. As
Oh, I'm sure you do. I want to see you hold it with both hands and shoot it like that. Yes, exactly.
Yep, and Regal Fraggle, I could show you the Browning design that I recently had come through and built out for a customer because it was a gold high power
Oh yeah, so ugly.
that
Gucci.
wound. Oh, a gold high power that was engraved and has Virgin Mary grips on it now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's for his heritage that he's not a part of.
but
Is this one of those? Is this one of those Browning guns? Those Browning design guns? Is
Nice.
that what we're talking about?
Nah, man.
if we want to go down the Church of John Moses Browning, the things he made, that is amazing, because he invented the pump action shotgun. He also did the first semi-auto shotgun. That was his life's work, was to make the semi-auto shotgun with the original Browning Auto 5, which then they went on to make some of the first semi-auto rifles in it. Like the old Remington Model 8 had a barrel shroud around it because it used that same barrel movement to move the action, and it's awesome.
Well, since we're talking about places to shoot where the government owns the land, I figured I'd talk about a couple quick rules that the government has for their land. It says that the targets must be either commercially manufactured or home manufactured paper targets. A solid backstop, such as earth embankment, is required. Shooting at garbage and glass is prohibited, unless that garbage is a person who's attacking you. Target shooting is prohibited between dusk and dawn, so they don't like that nighttime shooting, which I'm really sad about. That's what the whole cowboy hat's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Exploding targets such as tannerite are prohibited, which I didn't know that. I'm glad I didn't read those rules until just this past week, so I don't feel so guilty about maybe using tannerite in a national forest at some point in my life.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, wasn't that just a year or two ago that got put into effect?
I don't know. It probably was recent because tannerite hasn't been around for 20 years, at least that I know of.
Yeah, so here's some fun facts about tannerite. Tannerite's perfectly safe and legal to have, as long as you do not mix it in capacities of over 49 pounds.
Oh, so
Because
exactly 49 pounds is what you want.
because once you go
Yes.
over 49 pounds, and when you hit like 50, you now have a destructive device.
Interesting.
And-
I didn't know about that. What
Yeah,
if you
so-
have two mixtures of 49 pounds side by side?
Technically, that's two different reactions.
Absolutely.
I am not an expert on that. I am not an attorney, and nothing I say should be considered legal advice.
Yeah, just watch out for alphabet soup with those.
You know,
Mhm.
but that says nothing. So I am a bit of a nerd when it comes to explosives. Here's a fun fact: a gallon of gasoline contains as much explosivity as 10 sticks of dynamite. You just have to aerosolize it first.
Okay.
And if you take, like, in theory, if you perhaps would put like a quarter pound of tannerite underneath a gallon of gas or a half gallon of gas, you might end up with like a 50-foot mushroom cloud.
Sweet.
Like
In
a
theory.
fireball.
I'm
I don't-
surprised Rick never mentioned this to us. He's the firefighter. He's supposed to know this stuff.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention that earlier. So Rick, our firefighter friend, taught us a trick that if you put cheap beer in a fire upside down and you have a little wooden ramp, once it got to a boiling point and the lid blew off, it would launch the beer can 30 to 50 feet away. And so we did that a few times. It was a lot of fun. I wonder if we could introduce, and you don't know when it's going to go off. It's a surprise. It's between 1 and 3 minutes after you drop it in. So it would be you'd be everybody sitting around with their shotguns pointed a safe direction, and you put the beer can in the fire and you wait for it to launch out, and you have to shoot the beer can out of the air. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Huh. That's a new one on me. I'm gonna have to try it.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the club.
To the
Yes.
workshop.
Yeah, gonna have to make. Yeah.
Josh in the comments says that his buddy completely disintegrated a Jeep with tannerite. It's the best use of a Jeep he's ever seen. And Raggle Fraggle says that we're a bad influence and he likes it. I'm glad we could be here for you.
Josh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Josh, I completely disintegrated a Jeep frame with a gravel road, so you're not.
But it probably wasn't as fun as tannerite.
No.
No,
Yeah.
it was not. Then I was driving home going, why does this thing push me to the left? This isn't good.
So what are some guns you guys like to bring?
So
Bring camping,
Wing camping and off-roading.
camping, yeah.
I have a pistol that I have carried on me every day since 2011, and it is.
And I haven't cleaned it.
Oh no, it's on its third finish.
Is that the Bodyguard 380?
Oh no, this is the precursor to the Ruger
LCP.
This is actually a Keltec P3AT.
I promise you guys, we're not the Keltec podcast. Okay, there's been a lot of talk.
But no, my
I didn't know the
wife,
Firearms Radio Network came out with a new podcast.
my wife gave me that pistol when we got married, and
Oh,
I have carried
man.
it every day since. I've actually worn that pistol more than my wedding ring. And
All right.
I mean, it's
But-
as good as you got it the same day, right?
yeah. And that's just because like I've these rubber or silicone rings, I've literally had them like ripped off with like binders or chains or something like that.
Mhm.
And
Well, it's better than degloving your finger.
exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
that, and then
So
I carry another handgun on me every day as well. So like that's just one of those. I always have my 380 and most commonly a SIG 365 XL. And that just like that's upstairs in the beds, or I put that one to bed when I because I knew I was coming on, and went, oh well, we're gonna leave this one upstairs, and so that way I can just go to bed when we get done. And
there you go. We'll tuck you in.
other than that, like I said before, this little 10.5-inch gun, I will run with me all the time.
Okay.
And that is mainly because I can put it to anything I need to. And then if I want to get fancy, or if I have to, like, if we take my wife's 4Runner instead of one of the pickups, I will grab my 11.5-inch gun that has the lasers and all of that stuff and throw that in. And that'll be what rides with to do any fun stuff with.
I like to actually just bring ammo with me after going camping with Aaron and forgetting the ammo for my rifle. And we had that poor owl with bronchitis that we wanted to put out of its misery. You know, it was actually a bear chuffing near camp, but you know,
And that is, you know, like I am all in favor of stuff like, well, there's one behind me there with the tube on, because if I'm running a short action or a super short 30 cal, then I have the 300 blackouts. Otherwise 308 for that. And that's what the KS7's for, because as much as I say I need a breaching shotgun, bears and 12 gauge slugs don't generally get along very well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah.
That's good to know. How about you,
Yeah.
Garth? When you go camping at the hotel bar, what do you bring?
Yeah. I'm a 3 to 5 gun loadout guy myself. Like Nick, I carry 2 with MA380 in the front left pocket kind of guy, and I also carry a North American Arms 22. Yes, I do,
Yeah.
and because man,
Do you have the
I've
belt
had more
buckle?
people.
You have the belt
Nope,
buckle
I
that
have-
clips into?
I have the pocket
Not-
knife one. And so I've had more people ask me to borrow my knife, and I keep telling them it's not a knife. And we've had bad things happen with that because people, no, it's a knife. Let me grab it, and then, oh gosh, it's not.
Yeah.
So
I got
yeah,
a story I'll tell
but-
you guys after the show's over about that, where somebody almost died. But
cool.
Yeah.
No, and then if I'm gonna go somewhere like to the bigger cities and stuff, I have an AR with me. And so right now I'm rocking my M400 SIG with the Swamp Fox blade on it because I love that optic. It's a fantastic optic. And then Yankee Hill suppressor. This gun is not meant for offensive situation. It's a defensive weapon. I don't want to pull this out unless I really do. It's rode with it in 6 months, honestly, because it's lubed up. It's ready to go. I've got 180 rounds strapped in my kit. I always bring a kit with me and a medical bag because you never know what situation you're going to find yourself in.
Absolutely.
And so I want to be
Yeah.
prepared as I can be. And so I have my med stuff with me. I have my full kit. If I've got to ditch my vehicle somewhere, know that with the supplies I have plus cash on me, I will make it home, whether it be in someone else's vehicle or someone's old beat up tractor. I will make it home. So
To answer Regal Fragel's question, I tried that having like one lower and multiple uppers once, and
Once. Yeah.
Doesn't work.
I can legitimately say this. I don't know how many lowers I have. I say that, and that's not like a weird flex. That's just
It's just weird.
I have people like gift them to me. They're like, "Oh, hey, I got this lower a while back. I'm not going to do anything with it. You want it?"
Wow.
And I'm like,
No,
"Yeah, I mean,
it's true. It's weird.
all right, whatever." And then I wind up with another one, or I see something shiny, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, I need that." But
yeah.
as anybody who listens to the podcast has probably heard, Garth has made comments about if you would just like roll through my parts bin, I have probably a handful of rifles worth of parts.
Oh, there's been ample times I've been in your basement and they're like, man, I really need this part to complete this gun, and through 3 boxes of stuff, and you're like, here you go.
Here it is.
Yeah. All right. Don't need to order that anymore. Cool.
Wonderful. Well, when I go camping, depending on the type of camping, I'll bring a similar loadout like these guys are, depending on which camp rig I'm taking, because the guns don't do you any good at home, right? If you're out away from your house, they don't do any good in your gun safe. So bring as many as you can fit, bring enough ammo to support them, and stuff like
Very
that. When I'm family camping, I'll bring here's a couple pistols here. So whoops, I've got this revolver is a Heritage Rough Rider. This is the very first gun I ever bought. I bought it when I was like 13. $129. They're still $129. And this isn't a very quality pistol. They've only gotten worse, but you could still, it's only $129. It's great for a kid. Single action 22. It comes with a Magnum cylinder to swap out. And the kids love it because it's like a cowboy gun, right? The kids love the 22s. I've also got this 22 pistol, which is a high standard Model B. It's from the 40s, and this has been passed down through my family. I'm the 4th generation to own this. My great grandfather bought this brand new. We've got some cool family document on history on it. This one is a tack driver. Love this gun, and the kids love it too. It's quiet, and it's just a whole lot of fun to shoot. Besides that, I'll bring a concealed carry when I'm camping. And that's always with me when I'm camping. I mean, it's always with me other times too. And then you get to bring some rifles, some more 22s. Always got to bring the 22s. You got the lever action. I'm going to scoot back here a little bit so we can see some. You got the lever action, the Henry. Whole lot of fun. Love these. These are great for plinking. My son just got gifted. Sorry, I'm going to make this a little bit of a show and tell. My son just got gifted this super old 22. I think the barrel is like 26-inch long barrel. This thing is the most accurate firearm I've shot in my life. I think it's more accurate than my 6.5 Creedmoor. This is amazing. So it's just a little bolt. It's a single shot. It doesn't have any sort of magazine. It's super safe for kids to shoot this one because as soon as you open the bolt, it puts the safety on. So then you close the bolt. You have to push the safety back forward to fire. You open the bolt, safety goes back on again. Great for kids. Sometimes when you go hunting, you might be doing some prairie dog shooting. This might offend some of our listeners. Too bad. But you got a little 17 HMR, so it's like the 22.
They thought you were shooting tree squirrels, not ground squirrels.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
I know. But 17 HMR, this one shoots super fast, little tiny bullets. A lot of fun for that type of thing. And that might be an activity that you're doing while you're out camping. Is you're in Central Oregon, you talk to some farmers and are like, yeah, absolutely, come on our land. Those ground squirrels, those
prairie dogs are
prairie dogs.
They're
causing problems.
In my lifetime, I have actually had to put down a horse because we were chasing cows, and it stepped in a prairie dog hole and broke its leg. And
That's not cool.
yeah, so death to all of them. And you can send that hate mail to Garth at.
Yes, please do. Because there's nothing better than missing a prairie dog at 200 yards with your 6.5.
Yeah. And then you've got your hunting rifles. There's a little 30-06 up higher. I've got my 6.5 ready to go for the season.
And is that a BAR?
Yes, it is.
Like you just kind of gleaned over a 30-06 BAR. Like it's not as cool as the one, like the old joke of 3 Nazis walk into a bar, but I mean it's close.
Yeah, it is close. Yeah, this one I inherited from my father-in-law after he passed away. As far as I know, this one's probably killed over 50, well over 50 whitetail, if not over 100 whitetail deer with this bad boy. And I'm sure it killed many elk as well. He did a lot of hunting.
That is awesome.
Yep. And then we talked about just doing fun plinking. This is my fun plinking gun. This is the Scorpion.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
And it's just a whole lot of fun. You just could put a red dot on it. You put one of these low volume 10 round magazines. I don't know why they're round. It only holds 10 bullets in it. Super weird. Just kidding. It doesn't hold 10. Little red dot on the top. Maybe one of those triggers that shoots when you release it as well as when you pull it. A lot of fun with these things. This one is just a whole lot of fun to plink with. And the sound vessel on the end adds a little bit more fun too when you're shooting 147 grain. So yeah, whole lot of fun. So a lot of these will go with me when I go camping because you got to have options. There we go. You got one. Oh, that's right. You got one of those paintball triggers.
The shocker.
I sure did. The shocker.
So, there is one other thing that I would say if you have a oh yes.
Yeah.
I have a couple of those that are, and the one thing I would say, if you want to add something that will just add a ton of fun to your AR, the CMMG 22 conversion kits.
Yes.
They run about $150, and like my daughter built her first rifle last winter, and she shot it regularly, and now we pretty much have her running it with the 22 exclusively. And she loads her own mags and goes to shooting targets, and it makes it a lot easier to on the pocketbook.
Mm-hmm.
But you can carry the other bolt with you and swap it out to run 223. So it's a gun that can kind of do both. If you do that when you're out, if saving space is an issue when you're camping.
I have I believe it's a Chiappa version with the mags and stuff.
Yeah.
So super cool. A lot of fun. Ben, do you want to do any show and tell?
Actually I did. So I shared this picture for a second on the screen. This is actually one of our snow camping trips. That's Jeremy's rubber dummy. Real fun. And then go ahead.
I was gonna say it was a hit. It was a lot of fun shooting that.
Yeah. And then this is a shot from a while ago. I took my son, that's my buddy's 300 Blackout before I built mine. But he loved it so much that he's like, Dad, you need to get one of those quieters. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the thing on the end where it makes it really quiet. I'm like, oh, a suppressor. And he's like, yeah, you need one of those.
Yeah, you do.
I'm like, well, you need to convince your mom of that. So
The gun muffler.
the gun muffler. Yeah, get one of those quieters. Those are really awesome. Yeah. And then I also it's not here in the shop with me, but I also own one of these. It's very scary.
Oh man. All right, so legitimately, I know more adults who have been harmed by one of those than guns.
Well, you're in farm country.
So just
Believe it.
just for those who are listening, it's a
Audio
picture-
listeners.
for our audio listeners, it is a picture of a farm jack or a high lift jack.
The
For those
handyman
not-
jack.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Those scare me.
Well,
That's
all
why
right.
I'm never gonna put a lift on my Jeep.
I quite literally, we had a neighbor growing up who broke his jaw, like his chin
ooh,
and his front teeth out because he jacked up a tractor and it let loose and the pipe came up and
yep.
caught
that'll
him
break
to the
the jaw.
jaw.
And then this is my 22 that I built for my oldest, and I probably shoot it more than he does. But my younger boys actually just got to shoot it recently, and they did really good with it. And it's just a 1022 with the Magpul kit, and the kids love
I
it.
love it.
The
Yeah.
Magpul kit makes that gun so dang sexy. I have one. I love it. Absolutely adore that gun.
I saw the kit when it came out, and I was like, I need one of those, and I bought it immediately because I already had the 1022, and I hated the chassis that it was on, and I was looking for something different. And Magpul came out with that, and I'm like, that's what I want. And it's the same style chassis as their short action and long action for the was it the Remington 700 chassis they make?
Yep. Yeah.
So
All right,
you
well,
only
this
plan upgrades.
this is an important question to ask here. So, do we need to be bringing our thermal and night vision with us when we go camping?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured that'd be a short answer. Short question, short answer.
No,
How else are
so-
you gonna find Sasquatch?
I
Yeah,
thought that all you had to use was the mating calls. That's what I've been
Oh.
trying, anyways.
Oh, well,
I'm
we
not
can
here.
arrange that.
Why?
We have a pet Sasquatch. We can
We
bring
do.
him with.
I can't wait to know more.
You know, it's kind of fun because
I see it.
Dude, I'm right here.
I'm right here.
very, very, very funny that I'm actually wearing that shirt tonight. Is there anything people shouldn't bring? I mean,
Oh.
I don't know. Alcohol and guns generally don't mix, right?
Not at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So pick one for
Nick, tell
thermal
me your
or
saying,
night
man. I
vision.
love your saying.
Which one?
Oh, yeah, what are we
about
talking about?
alcohol and guns.
Yeah,
that
what-
that the good thing about alcohol and guns, and this is something that you need to know, is only one of you can be loaded at a time. But
That's good.
Luckily,
That's
you
a good
get to
thing.
choose.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
That is a good one. I like that one too. And
Yeah,
that should be a
it's
t-shirt.
It's the way it works. Is only one of you can be loaded at a time, you or your gun. But so for thermal or night vision, thermal has come a long ways, and you're seeing a lot more stuff done with it.
I've
I
seen
would
it.
not
It's a lot
drive.
more affordable too, right?
It's coming down. So is night vision. And in the world of night vision, like there's digital night vision, and then there's there's analog night vision. The military still uses analog, and one of the for my previous postings in guards for the first 22 years I was in, I did a lot of training on teaching people how to drive under night vision, and which if you've ever wanted to have a slightly stressful time, have a bunch of 19-year-olds hauling ammunition across Iraq at 60 miles an hour with night vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
That's you still have all your hair.
Oh, I was one of the kids.
Oh, you were one of the kids. You weren't instructing them. You were one of them. Okay,
No,
so
that
you're having
was-
the time
No,
of your
he-
you're having the time of your life.
No, then I got older and I got stuck with other things, and now I realized what a headache I was when I was 19. And
Yes.
but no, driving with night vision is a trip. because
Yes.
you lose depth perception.
Absolutely. And usually
And-
you're only looking through one eyeball.
Yeah. And it should be your non-dominant eye, which makes things
That's-
even weirder.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I've done it once in my lower field, driving a Humvee of all things, with a PVS 7 on a helmet, and
Well,
I
PVS
had an
doesn't matter because it's
instant headache.
because it's both eyes. But no, the reason why you mount it over your non-dominant is because of something called the Bindon aiming principle, and it's how the oldest.
It must have been a PVS 14. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say because if it was the PVS 7,
No,
is two
it
eyes
wasn't.
in one.
Yeah, it wasn't the big one with the single out the front.
Yep.
No, it was just a.
As the side, so that's a PVS 14, and running that, you put it on your non-dominant eye generally in case there's anything else going on. You can pick up light and other periphery stuff, and then try and, even though you can't see it, it's your brain tries to make one image out of two and overlay the night vision onto things because of
Oh,
well, it's the Bindon aiming principle. So the very original red dots were a completely occluded, meaning you couldn't see through them. Like these are old shotgun sights from the 40s and stuff like that, and they had a red
sure.
LED emitter that you would line up, and
Mhm.
you would use both eyes and look through it, and it
That
would
makes sense.
transpose it into your vision. But you do the same. It's a very similar thing when you keep both eyes open, but have it on your non-dominant eye, because you're still trying to process everything right through your good eye and just picking up all the world around you in the periphery from the non-dominant. And I probably messed something about the theory up, but that's how we do it. Because I just, went down a weird rabbit hole as I am.
Well, that's what we do.
Well,
I'm sorry, I vomited information. I'll stop now.
Back to so outside of alcohol, we've talked about that. What else shouldn't people bring when they're out shooting, or maybe what they should bring? I'm just thinking off the top of my head is cleaning up after yourself. You should bring your trash back with you, and I usually
Yes.
bring
Yep.
like a tarp, or I have a canvas tarp that I bring with me. It's like a 4x8 tarp, and I usually have it off to my right. So as I'm shooting, all my brass ends up in there, and I just fold it up and dump my brass into my trash and fold up my tarp. It's nice and easy, and then all I've got to do is pick up my targets. If it's a target I've got to bring back with me, like my steel targets or trash.
Yep. And medical gear is another thing that you should bring with you as well, because that's just something you should keep for, like, let's be honest, as we've talked about, we're concealed carriers and stuff of that nature. You're far more likely to come across an accident on the road than you are
Absolutely.
a situation where you're going to need to use your firearm in self-defense. So
Like someone crash into a animal on their motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, coming across stuff like that where you are more likely to perform first aid. That's I think that's important to have as well.
Yeah, I've we the kit we built with Medical Gear Outfitters, we put in like a tourniquet, because you're more likely to need a tourniquet in the outdoors for something rather than not. So
Yep. All right. Well, last question here. Is there any way to prevent our guns from getting lost in boating accidents, even when we don't own boats?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is one where, and I'm not trying to sound inflammatory, and I get the joke of, oh, I don't have any guns and lost them all in a boating accident. And I had a guy say that. I'm also a professional firearms instructor, and I had somebody say that at a class, and I said, I was told once by an angry old veteran that if the time ever comes that we need to start burying our guns, it's probably time to start digging them up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd rather live in dangerous freedom than peaceful slavery.
Yes.
So I didn't lose shit.
There you
Sorry.
go. Yeah. Timestamp.
Timestamp.
Yep,
Well earned
timestamp.
timestamp.
My bad. I realized as soon as I said it.
2 bleeps tonight. Sorry.
No worries.
I think that's a well adjusted.
No, yeah, I'm with Nick on this one, man. It's one of those things. It's a great joke, but man, it's to stand up, and I hate that saying. Oh, we lost him in boating accident. No, you didn't. It's time to maybe take a stand. I mean, I don't know how political you guys are with keeping up current events and everything like that, but man, you look at Israel and Hamas and everything that's going on over there, and we might be 30 seconds of midnight now with things kicked. So
Yeah,
and
and
it's only a matter of time.
And even if we're not, part of the problems we've seen, and I've heard this from friends in the firearms industry and all that, is all these people that leave their states because of the firearms laws are part of the problem because they're not staying to help fight the fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
go back to California.
yeah, go back to California and take back your state, will you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Aaron, come back to Washington, will you? Jeez.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say Washington got super restrictive with their laws.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Unfortunately. But
Yep.
I've not run yet. I'm still fighting the good fight.
Yep.
And
they
for
keep
those of
trying
you
here in
behind
Oregon.
enemy lines, the chair is against the wall, and John has a
chair
long
is-
mustache.
Yes.
The geese are flying south of the winter. All right, it's from yeah.
Well, anywhere we can find you guys. I mean, obviously you're on the Firearms Radio Network with us, right?
Yep, we are.
Sure.
We are proud members of the Firearms Radio Network. They can find us on Facebook at AR-15 Podcast and pretty much everywhere else at AR-15 Podcast 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
That's on
Nice.
the Instagram, at Gmail,
Spotify, yeah,
Yep.
all the good stuff.
YouTube, and AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now.
X.
Yeah.
X.
There we go. Well,
And you guys
next-
just changed. You guys were recording on Monday nights, and you graciously moved to Thursday nights.
Yep.
So that I could start watching you when I'm not podcasting. So appreciate
Well,
you
so
guys
we can
doing
start
that.
hanging out with you, and we like shooting and all those guys. We like doing this stuff. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Get to join some other podcasts. So yeah.
Yes. And you guys make sure you get out there and do stuff.
Do the things.
do the things.
Wheel and pew.
Yep. Next week we're joined by for a listener ride episode with Josh. The guy who came and camped out in my garage. That guy. He's coming on. We get to hear all about his trip to the Pacific Northwest and abroad. So tune in for that next week.
Whoa, that was his wife, Ben. Not abroad. Wow. Man.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm so glad you did for me.
You're welcome. And we want to thank everybody who listens to us live, who's watching our show with us right now. You guys stuck with us throughout the whole show. We had lots of great comments. We appreciate the input. Like the show and tell. It's a lot of fun having you guys there. So hang out as often as you can. If you aren't watching us live and checking on the comments, you really should. Most of the action happens in our YouTube stream for the Off-Road podcast. So that's the best one to be in because you can see everybody else's comments. And
And they were
sometimes
hot
there's comments. Sometimes there's comments that we don't show on the screen. So that's kind of a little bonus. If you're in there, you get to see those comments that we choose not to share. They might be a little too risque. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for sharing us with your friends and helping us grow. And God bless America.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Colby Valve and 4 Patriots to see all of their great products. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our Linktree account or by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, and be safe and courteous. Thanks for listening.
And a quick reminder that I just thought of that we never spoke on is make sure you follow your local laws and all that when you're out shooting. Just, stay legal.
If
If you
applicable.
want a good app to look
If
at
applicable.
to find out about firearm laws in states you're going to, check out Legal Heat. It's a great free app that'll have all 50 states firearms laws.
Yeah, especially when you're traveling around off-road. It's always good to know when you're legal where you're carrying.